We're playing the generation game with a couple looking to bring Gran into the family.
Would you move in with your mother-in-law?
Now, that is a tough question. If I could buy the house next door, possibly, just as a little, or maybe a big shed.
Forget Shedsville, I think these guys are looking for something a little bigger.
Well, I'd rather have length, to be honest, than width. Because I want...
This week, we're finding a new home for a growing family. So, nothing new there then.
But this house needs to be home not just to Mum, Dad and the kids, but Granny as well.
Yep, the mother-in-law is moving in. And it's our job to keep everyone happy.
Accountant Hardeep Burmy lives a comfortable life in a 3-bedroom semi just outside Birmingham with wife Deborah and their 2 young boys, Jay and Ethan.
Sounds dreamy, but things are about to change big time. Hardeep's mum is moving in.
Living with your mother and living with your mother-in-law is never the easiest thing to do, but be good for the kids. I'm sure Debbie will get used to it in the end.
The Burmese situation is increasingly common. The only way many people can afford the right house is to pitch in together and buy as an extended family. 3 generations all living under the same roof is predicted to triple in the next 20 years.
I realise it's not going to be a bed of roses, and I realise there's going to be rows, etc., that sort of thing. But hopefully we'll just have to learn to live together.
Hardeep's mum lives on her own at the moment, but now needs a little more care. Moving with Hardeep and Debs to their new home will offer her all the support she needs, and the proceeds from the sale of her house will go towards their new and larger, all singing, all dancing, family-friendly house.
So, one big house for one big extended family. A piece of cake. Well, it would be if only they could agree where they wanted it.
Sutton Coldfield's my preferred choice. I think you get value for your money in Sutton Coldfield. For our budget, I think we're going to get possibly the house of our dreams. Touch wood. Debbie's mum lives in Harborne, and Harborne is definitely Debbie's choice.
Hardeep's mum isn't 100%, her health isn't 100%. So we've started to think that maybe my family, I'm going to need to fall back on my family a little bit more with the children.
The only person that's not worried about location is Hardeep's mum. The important factor is that she can move in with Hardeep and Debs, and she's trusting them to find the ideal home.
To the north of the city centre is Hardeep's choice, Sutton Coldfield. It offers real value for money, great schools and beautiful houses.
Debbie's family live to the south in Harborne. It's got a deservedly upmarket reputation, and there lies the snag. The average price for a detached house here last year was almost double that of Sutton Coldfield.
This search boils down to 3 things: psychology, psychology and psychology. Hardeep's an accountant and he's thinking with his head for Sutton. You certainly get more for your money, but poor old Debs will be facing life in an unfamiliar area, living with her mother-in-law. No wonder she wants to be in Harborne with a bit of her own family support.
You guys have got quite a long wish list. Just run through it for me and try, if possible, to start with the most important and go down.
I think the most important is the space.
4 bedrooms.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But also where it is. I've done looked a lot into this, so the schools are pretty good there.
Okay, so size, location, catchment area.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, it's not just a 3-part wish list, come on.
No, there's not, there's more. We don't want to be on a busy road as well, wherever it happens to be.
Ideally, we'd like a bigger garden. We've got quite a small garden now, but I don't want to have a field at the back of the house.
Okay.
Just because you ain't going to get one.
This is a tough brief. With contribution from Hardeep's mum, the family budget tops out at $430,000. Sounds like a lot, but we're searching an expensive territory. The family are after a detached 4-bedroomed house on a quiet road in either Sutton or Harborne. And that's just for starters.
Well, it's the usual recipe, isn't it? We listen to what they want, we ignore what they want, we go hunting for the most suitable properties in their price range and location, and we browbeat them until they buy them.
Very nicely put.
Is it easy, this job, once you know how to do it?
This family are expecting a lot for their money.
We've got a budget of $430,000.
5 beds,
It's got to have a family kitchen,
2 en-suites,
long garden.
catchment area for the good schools.
875, 5 bedrooms, 650. I'm not even close.
With all those demands, so far we've drawn a blank in Harborne. There's just nothing suitable within budget.
So we're starting the search in Sutton and straight away breaking one of their golden rules. This house is on a busy road, but with its generous frontage, it's well set back from the traffic. And I think its sheer size could show them what their budget has the potential to achieve. And you don't get views like this anywhere else in Sutton or Harborne for that matter. On for £439,000, it's at the top of their budget, but the house has a lot to offer.
Right, now, Deborah, first things first, what were you just saying?
The road's a bit noisy.
You chicken, you said no!
Not a great start. Hope we haven't fallen at the first hurdle here, Kirsty.
Have a bit of faith, Phil. I know the road's an issue, but they haven't seen the inside yet. This 1930s house has bags of character and all the space this family could need. At the back, there's a huge garden for the kids to play in, and upstairs, I've got a nifty idea for Hardeep's mum, giving her and the family their own space. With everything it offers, they'd be daft to dismiss this house straight away.
So what do you think of this kitchen then?
It's gorgeous.
Lovely floors, the original floors all
fantastic.
stripped and polished up. And look at that garden.
I thought the kitchen would be a bit bigger with that room as well.
Blimey, Hardeep, you're not opening a restaurant. This kitchen's huge.
I am mighty keen on this house, as you probably noticed.
I can tell.
I'm going to take you straight into the master bedroom
Okay.
and straight over to the window. Let's address this road issue from the top. It's a summer day.
It's very quiet.
It's very quiet. And that's why I was prepared to show it to you.
And this house could really work for Hardeep's mum too.
Here, lovely double bedroom, ensuite shower room for your mother-in-law, connecting to a little sitting room.
Whilst Kirsty works on convincing Debbie, I want to show Hardeep the kind of lifestyle this house can offer.
The sheer fact that this is here is great.
Yeah. No one sets out saying, I want to live on a busy road. But quite a few people would go, I wouldn't mind living opposite a golf course and a sailing club, having a nice big garden and walking my kids to school.
Sounds tempting to me, but have we scored a hole in one?
Kirsty and I were very mindful of the fact that you said you didn't want to live on a road, and we've taken you straight to a house on a road. The reasons, we hope, are quite clear. You were, I guess, perfectly within your rights to walk in and go, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I did think that when I walked up the drive. I thought, what? Weren't you listening? But you
I say that to Phil the whole time.
Weren't you listening? No, she says it to me all the time.
But I do see
Us blokes
exactly.
have to do a lot of listening, don't we?
I do see exactly why you've done it, and it's not a no in my books. I don't think it's a no in your books, is it? No.
No, it ticks a lot of boxes.
But not exactly brimming with enthusiasm, Hardeep. I suspect the busy road may be a deal breaker here.
Hopefully we'll have more luck with our next one. This stunning 4-bed Victorian terrace is set bang in the middle of Boldmere, Hardeep's favourite area of Sutton Coldfield. It's perfect for schools and commuting. Although not on the same scale as the last house, this road couldn't be quieter. The figures add up too. On the market for $389,950, it's well under budget.
How does it strike you from the outside?
There's no garage.
Maybe you should have asked Deborah, Kirsty. Garage or no garage, this house is stunning.
Hardeep's mum could be very comfortable here with the space it has to offer. This place is being sold by 2 talented artists, and it shows in the imaginative attention to detail. It's got 4 large bedrooms and 2 beautiful reception rooms, but it's the personal touches that really make this place shine.
We know that Boldmere is Hardeep's ideal spot.
Yes. Yeah.
Does it work quite as well for you? I mean, how far is it to your family?
Driving, it's probably going to be a good 40 minutes or so. And my mum doesn't drive, so she would probably have to get the train if she wanted to come and visit me. She can't just pop round. You know, it's got to be planned, really.
Debs may be worried that she's too far from her family, but in Hardeep's book, this location's ideal, and that's not all it offers him.
Now, Hardeep, we thought this might be where you and Deborah might want to hide out when the rigours of family life overcame you. You've got a lovely ensuite shower there, and then this is a nice big room. Now, at the moment, obviously, it's got all the kids' clutter.
Yeah.
But if you put a double bed against that wall, it's a lovely, light, bright room.
Yeah.
And downstairs, you've got a really big room for your mum.
But size is a matter of opinion.
I think downstairs is possibly too small.
Right.
Certainly the 2 living rooms are.
Nice try, Kirsty, but I don't think we've won these 2 over quite yet.
I think that old-fashioned fussy. You know, we haven't come across that for a while. Just
What do you mean old-fashioned fussy?
Just fussy.
Hi, you two.
Hello. You had a good look round?
Yes, we have.
It's a no, isn't it?
Yes.
Just tell me, I think I already
Sorry.
know, but in one sentence, what is the primary reason for the fact that it's a no?
It's not big enough.
I thought we'd struck gold with this house. It's in Hardeep's ideal location and within budget. Hardeep and Deborah really need to start facing facts.
I very much appreciate that space is your number one criteria. That's the motivation for the move. But you're trying to weigh in with the location criteria as well.
No, maybe we were being a bit too picky.
I think.
No. Were you?
I think it's good that we wait out for the right thing, but not try to get.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to get absolutely everything we want. I think we realise that.
Nor do I.
I think I realise that, but I think we can get most things we want.
These two have such firm views, but with their budget, we're going to need a stroke of luck to find it.
Luck, Phil. Blood, sweat and tears, more like. But hey, I've never let you down.
Their fight to find more space for their expanding family and their differing opinions on the right location have so far got me beat.
Buck up, Phil. This search isn't over yet. The key to Deborah's heart is getting her closer to her family. Time to give the girl what she wants.
We're moving the search over to the other side of Brum, to the upmarket area of Harborne. It's a fantastic place to live with great schools, beautiful parks and stunning houses. But living the high life doesn't come cheap. The average price of a detached house here last year was a whopping £609,000, well over the Burmese budget of $430,000.
Our initial search drew a blank in Harborne. It was simply out of the Burmese price range. But I've just had a call from an agent with some interesting news. This 6-bedroom period property was on the market at a cool $500,000. But it seems the developer may need some cash, and it's just had a whopping 50 grand knocked off the price tag. With some clever dealing, I think this could be within the Burmese reach, and that could make Deborah a very happy woman.
So, Debs, you're really the reason why we're here.
I know. Thank you very much.
It can't be far from your family.
No, 10 minutes.
10-minute
10
walk.
minutes? God, Hardeep,
walk.
you're a brave man. Live with your own mum and live 10 minutes from your mum-in-law.
He hasn't said he'd do it yet.
But it all works.
But many men wouldn't even consider that.
I think it looks really nice.
OK,
And
let's get in there.
It's
Okay,
quite a
cool.
road.
It is a quarter road, yep.
Compared to Sutton, you don't usually get as much for your money in Harborne, but I think this house is a real find. It's a period property that's just had a shiny new makeover. Spread out over 3 floors, Hardeep's mum would be spoilt for choice with any of these generous bedrooms.
And it doesn't end there.
Who wanted space? Who wanted a big family kitchen?
Oh my God.
Holy moly.
What you have here is Granny's room, formal reception room, large family kitchen,
Oh my God,
playroom,
it's lovely.
conservatory and downstairs laundry room.
This is bang on.
Because the kids there,
Bang on.
me here.
No, the kids. No,
The kids are in the
kids are in
kids
their
are
own
in the
room.
playroom
Oh,
beyond.
have they?
Come
Look,
have
you
a
look.
look.
The kids aren't in the kitchen.
So
no.
that sort of comfy seating area.
This
Then
is
there's
where
a
you have
dining
a
I was
room.
going to say you could have a sofa there.
Yeah.
Sofa here.
And then
dining
kids
table
are
here.
in here.
Oh wow! Straight to the
Holy-
garden.
Biggest garden we've come across.
It is big.
It's
Room for your little den or something down the end.
This is a bit of a wow for me.
Hardeep doesn't get wowed.
I don't think Debs thought we'd ever find her anything like this in Harborne.
Oh my God! We're not going to be able to afford this.
It's got everything, this house. It is the mutt's nuts. If they don't buy it, I will eat your hat. So are you two still impressed?
Yes,
Yeah, very impressed.
Yeah.
Really like it.
Yeah, really like it.
Well, let's split up, keep exploring.
Oh, boss. Debs, come and see the master bedroom suite with me.
Okay.
Hardy, we'll head up to the top.
Okay, brilliant.
Keeps going, this house.
It's narrow, the garden, but it's very long.
Well, I'd rather have length, to be honest, than width. Because I want...
Even the accountant in Hardeep is starting to melt.
I think I'm definitely thinking with my heart at the moment because I love the house. I've got to say, when I walked in, I didn't think I would, but I do. Garage or no garage, it's great.
The location of this house couldn't be better for Deborah.
What kind of difference would it make to your life being a mile away from your mum?
No, really, really good. Especially now with Hardeep's mum, I realise that I'm relying on my mum a lot more. Hardeep's mum was fully capable before of looking after the children or just helping us out.
Yeah.
And we could just leave them there and run off for a couple of hours and come back. But now, unfortunately, she's not. Thank God I've got my mum, because that's what I mean, exactly, that she's, you know, she's there for me.
Just as we hoped, it's really getting them. Don't know whether they want to spend the money, but it is a fantastic house. I'd certainly go for it. Quite a place, isn't it?
Definitely, and every room I went into I just really loved. But I haven't seen one where I've walked in like this and I've gone, wow, 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 and I just...
Nor have I, to be fair. And I think I'm very much thinking with my heart. I need to think with my head.
You're not, are you? Where did you find that?
In my back pocket. No, but...
Success at last.
Not so fast, Kirsty. Harborne may have been a big hit, but the reality is it's still 20 grand over budget. This last house is back in Sutton, where you get a lot more for your money. It's a 5-bedroomed house on the market for just under 420,000, 30 grand cheaper than the Harborne house and comfortably back in budget. It's on a quiet road, has a huge garden and real scope to add some value. That should appeal to Hardeep.
Inside, the house needs a little updating, but is in great shape and it's huge. With £10,000 left in the kitty, the Burmese could create the perfect home. For an extended family desperate for more space, this house really would be a sensible option and a great buy.
Now here we are, straight into the sitting room.
Oh, this is nice.
No, it is.
It's lovely. Oh, Hardeep, look at the garden.
This is the bit of the winner,
That garden's lovely.
isn't it? It's beautifully maintained and most private. You could sunbathe with no clothes on in there and no one would be any the wiser.
It's really nice.
With just a little updating, this house would have plenty of wow factor. It may not be Debbie's ideal location, but being back in Sutton means you get a lot of bricks for your bucks.
Not the kitchen of the previous house,
No,
okay?
not by any means.
But what you do is you see that cupboard there,
Yeah.
and all the way along here, you knock it through. See, you've got really quite a lot of extra depth there.
I think the potential of this place is winning Hardeep over.
Debbie would be happy with Harborne. There's no questions about that. And is that worth 10 grand more? In Debbie's eyes, it's definitely worth more than 10 grand more. In my eyes, I would like to go away and think about it.
Well, that's fine. We're not gonna pull your fingernails out if you don't make a decision now.
That's not what you said earlier.
Debbie was so won over by the last house. I want to find out if her heart's even made it through the front door.
If I'd seen that house in Sutton, I would be a bit, oh, it's in Sutton, I wish it was in Harborne, but I think I'd still have to go for it because I love it.
Therefore, you're admitting you're not actually giving this the time of day.
No. I just like to follow you around.
Even though, thank you very much.
Once you've known him as long as I have, Debs, the novelty wears off, believe me.
This is a great house with a real investment potential. But at the end of the day, Deborah is allowing Hardeep's mum to move in with them. So he is going to let her live near her mum.
I agree. Although he's probably quite taken with this
He's
house.
very taking because he likes the idea of a house to which he can add value. And he's right. But all this head over heart stuff, at the end of the day, his heart lies with making Debbie happy.
He said that a few times. As long as she's happy, he's happy.
Yeah.
Sensible man. Let's just hear your combined thoughts on this house.
This is a big house with a big garden. It's got the garage, it's got the driveway, and it's on for less money.
I know you're going to kill me for saying this, but I just feel like it's too quiet here.
Spend the evening thinking about it. You only need one house.
Next morning, and you'll never guess what.
Here we are back in Harborne. Surprise, surprise.
Debbie won.
Thoughts overnight? Debbie won, clearly.
Yeah, of course I won.
It's not a war, Phil. It's not a matter of who wins and who loses.
We agreed together, didn't we?
Yep, whatever you say, Deborah. This house is 20 grand over budget, but we think we could get it for less. And Debs' happiness has got to be worth the extra money.
One of the main reasons for the move was to bring Hardeep's mother into the family, and Hardeep's already got ideas.
So we're only coming up one flight of stairs.
We're only coming up one flight of stairs. I think we probably said that we're trying to give her her own space, but at the same time, we're trying to get her integrated in with us, and she's already a big part of the family, and
Sure.
it's important for the kids that they grow up with her And I don't want her to sort of be there and make out like she's in the way. She's not in the way. And that really is the main goal.
Great.
And I think that this house achieves that.
Yeah.
Whenever you buy a newly developed property, it's important to draw up a good snagging list. Any serious problems must be sorted out before exchange.
I noticed the first time we came there were a couple of cracks up there.
Cracks like that wouldn't bother me.
Girl after my own heart.
It's quite normal, isn't it?
That is quite normal. I think you just want to make sure that they've got the documentation which says that's properly supported.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll just put one beam on window.
After a thorough inspection, Debs and I head off to find the boys.
We're done and dusted. No problems at all. We've been talking about numbers and...
Well, we've been doing a very detailed snagging list.
We've been talking about cracks.
Have you
Yes,
just?
well.
I'm not sure we want to know about that, but...
Okay,
I think it's time that we went and found somewhere a bit warmer, maybe with a glass or two in front of us.
Please.
Phil making a beeline for the bar? So surprising.
We came up here not too confident that we could find it, but I think we've surpassed ourselves, Kirst.
He's a smug git, isn't he?
Yeah. No, you did great finding the house in Harborne.
Would you like to go ahead and make an offer on the Harborne house?
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
I did want to make an offer. Their top limit is £430,000. They're prepared to offer their max. Okay, bye.
I feel like I'm going to go and sit an exam.
It's difficult to wait, isn't it?
We're trying to buy this house from a couple of developers. They're going to be after the cold, hard cash. Even though we put in a firm offer at 20 grand under the asking price, they're going to play a tough game. It's impossible to tell which way this is going to go.
James. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, James, can you just do this for me?
I've had another offer.
Can you leave the offer on the table? Okie doke. Thanks, James. The vendor has said he won't accept less than 440.
What we have to pin our hopes on is that they're calling our bluff.
Yeah.
And when we don't move and we leave the offer there, they go, actually, 430 is not bad, let's take it.
I know Debbie feels gutted right now, but
No, Debbie, this is just the first step. Promise me.
I know, but we've been looking so long. I know it's been taken away.
It hasn't been taken away. We found it and we're going to get it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine.
All right.
A week on, and with no word from the vendors, Hardeep and Debs make one last attempt to secure the Harborne house. They stretch their offer by another £8,000. And I'm delighted to say the developer accepts their offer.
It's going to be just fantastic. It will make us happier, which will make Hardeep's mum happier. You know, the kids will finally be settled as well, and it'll just be great.
This week we're in Norwich holding the hands of some very cautious first-time buyers. 12 months of searching and they're no closer to owning their first home.
Let's hope their bad luck isn't catching.
They love this house. Can't we just run now? Do we have to be the ones that tell them this?
This week we've got a right pair on our hands. They just can't clear the buyer's biggest hurdle, the survey.
Yep. They've loved and lost the home of their dreams 3 times because they haven't got the knowledge, know-how or nous.
So we're here to put them on the right track.
Helen Rackham and Paul Beckett love their Norwich city lifestyle with bars and restaurants on their doorstep and friends aplenty. This is where these 20-somethings want to be.
They can't bear to be apart, and even at work they're only a floor away from each other. Both in insurance, Helen works in marketing and Paul in IT. And they rent a house only 15 minutes walk from the city centre.
They live together, work together and party together. But what they can't seem to do together is buy a house.
We started looking for a house about a year ago.
First time buyers, we thought, oh yeah, we've got no chain, we're renting, everything's ready to go. And it's just not been like that at all. It's just been a complete nightmare from start to finish, unfortunately.
We know the problem for these two hasn't been finding a home. In fact, they've put offers in on 3 houses, but each time they've been scared off by some serious-sounding surveys and pulled out.
We are so desperate for a house. I think we'd feel if we put an offer in on anything, just be waiting for the phone call to say, yeah, you've got another problem with it. Even our mortgage advisor uses us as an example of how bad things can get.
You probably think you've hit rock bottom when you become a mortgage advisor's anecdote, but they're not alone. Thousands of buyers get scared off by the survey and pull out of a purchase prematurely.
I trained as a surveyor and I've been evaluating properties for about 12 years now. I've yet to come across a problem that's completely insurmountable. You've got to remember that a surveyor's job is to identify anything that's wrong with the property. What you've got to do is work out what's serious and what's not.
And we can't afford to take any chances with this cautious couple. Houses in Norwich are flying off the market, and with a working brief, I need to get straight on the case. They've got a budget of £165,000 and want a 3-bedroom period property no more than 20 minutes walk from Norwich city centre.
Well, that's gone as well. You must have something you can tell me.
While Phil pounds the pavement, I'm off to get the finer details from Helen and Paul. They think they need a 3-bedroomed house, but with only 2 of them living there, I'm not sure why.
Their 2-bed rented pad is plenty big enough. Well, it was until they filled up one of the rooms with junk.
But they want a house of their own, and a year of disappointments has left them at a low ebb.
Paul, all this toing and froing, the disappointment, the losing of the 3 properties, how does that make you feel about the process?
Really deflated, to be honest. Initially, with the first place, it was very exciting to find a place and sort of imagine yourself sitting around, how you'd have it laid out and that sort of thing. But one after the other, it's just sort of taking all the excitement away from the whole process completely.
So what we've got to do is put the magic back into the search.
Oh, definitely.
But what about his better half? Time for a girls' chat.
So you longing for your own house?
Yeah, really badly. And we're just so desperate, we just want to start decorating and showing off our house.
Yep.
And every time we go to do that, something goes wrong. So.
OK, well, I promised Paul that we would put the magic back into the search.
Good.
And I think for you, I think I can guarantee that we can find you a home to call your own.
Don't make any rash promises, Kirsty. You may be confident, but I'm worried.
I've got a client with a requirement for a 3-bedroom house. Budget's about 165.
You're going to struggle to get 3 beds off landing.
What would you have to pay for a 3-bed?
You're looking at least 170, anything up to 180, and the good ones can go for even more.
Have you got any 2-bedrooms left?
There isn't really any sort of on the books now. Like I say, they're selling like hotcakes, the 2 beds.
OK, I'll be back in touch.
OK.
Thanks for your help.
problem.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Well, at least someone's happy. I think it's best if you show Helen and Paul our first property while I continue searching.
Right, first up, a tidy little terrace, only a few streets from where they currently live in East Norwich. 20 minutes walk into town and staggering distance from the bars. But first things first. These 2 are paranoid about surveys, and a quick lesson in what to look for should reassure them that there's nothing to be scared of.
What can you see up there?
A chimney?
Chimney seems to be OK, no obvious cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The flashing, the lead on the side, looks in good condition.
Got a loft conversion next door. Is it
Next door
likely
you've
that-
got a loft conversion.
Likely
You're
to do
dead
the
right,
same?
Paul. So what you know is that planning consent is not going to be difficult. So in terms of a survey, there's a lot that you can tell from standing on the street
Yeah,
before you've
just
even
at
been
first
inside the
glance,
house.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we get in there?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go for it.
This 2-bed terrace has a certain charm, and space-wise it's pretty similar to their rented pad. It may be cluttered, but it's got character, and at nearly 30,000 under budget, surely it'll sing to them.
Now what we've got here is a big dining area. Positive, negative?
It's a nice size room, definitely. It's just, I
bright
need
as
to
well,
imagine
isn't
it
it?
without all the stuff in it.
Now straight into the master bedroom here.
I think the room, it is big, but again, it just, just got to imagine it's all out.
It's 137,500.
Oh, you said 137,950, didn't you?
Oh, Paul, oh, wow. If you were able to price it that accurately, that's really good. It means you know what you're talking about.
They know what they're talking about, but do they know what they want? With a bit of decluttering, this house could really work for them.
It just doesn't feel right. I think downstairs is quite nice. It's upstairs I'm not keen on.
Now, verdict.
It's not right. So we just feel it's very cramped, and even without their stuff in it, it does feel very small.
Right, onwards and upwards.
Well, at least I've injected a bit of enthusiasm back into their house hunting.
They may be big on enthusiasm, but I'm short of 3-bedroom houses.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
At last, I've got a lead which sounds pretty promising.
OK, while you follow them up, we'll head off to our next property. Sadly, it's still only a 2-bed, but it's really spacious and it's in a great spot, west of the city centre and only 15 minutes walk to work.
How does it strike you from the outside?
Yeah, it needs some work doing in the front, but
Yeah.
I really like the style of the outside.
Windows need a paint.
It's got a bit of character.
Nice.
Nice.
The outside gets the thumbs up, but it's inside that really sells this house. Not only does it have 2 big bedrooms, but they've made fantastic use of the available space downstairs and created somewhere really stylish. And it's £7,000 under budget.
What they've done is something that's quite clever. They've used the side return of the house, often a wasted space, for a kitchen.
Wow.
I love it. I just absolutely love it.
It works very well. It's a clever use of space.
It's so unusual.
I've got to be honest with you, it has only got 2 bedrooms. We're still looking at the 2-bedroom properties to stay within your budget.
In the last house, the upstairs space was an issue, but the bedrooms here are far bigger.
Better?
Yeah, loads better.
More spacious?
Yeah, definitely.
Put your head through there.
This is nice, isn't it?
Quality.
Yeah, it's lovely. I really like it.
Double thumbs up on the kitchen, everything downstairs. Great use of the space.
And it's good value for money. For the area as well. Yeah, just fingers crossed there's nothing wrong with it.
They seem to be very reassured by my advice, which is great in one way, but puts a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. I'll be glad when Phil gets here tomorrow because we have got to convince them that they shouldn't be so cautious about surveys. But if we're wrong, we can have so much egg on our face, we'll be scrambled.
Next morning, and Phil wants to touch base at our 3rd property. It's the one I found in West Norwich, an area we know they love, and the walk to work, well, 20 minutes door to door.
You know, Phil, I must be mellowing in my old age.
You're not old, darling.
No, seriously, because previously I'd have got hold of those 2 and shaken them up and said, right, you buy something which needs value adding.
You didn't, you left them alone.
No, I
all
was
day.
sympathetic about their survey issue.
Yeah.
I didn't accuse them of being wet. And we went to see 2 great houses, one of which they really liked. And I did a lot of nice, comforting hand-holding.
Well, you're going to need a bit of hand-holding here. This is the only 3-bed that I found within budget.
I know, and it needs loads of work.
Yeah.
They're going to be scared to death.
You're not mellowing at all, are you?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Hello.
This is Phil. He's come along for the ride.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
With Kirsty allegedly on her best behaviour, let's hope we can make them see that this house could work.
With a bit of hard graft, they'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone. They'd get their 3 bedrooms and the opportunity to add value. It's on at £157,950.
Now, Helen, through here, you've got your dining room. Lovely original fireplace.
Nice fireplace. Yeah.
Oh, tell me what you're thinking. Look at your little
it's
face.
It's fine. It's just a bit... It's obviously different to yesterday, so I'm just adjusting and imagining...
It is.
Like if I had my stuff in it and I painted it and got rid of...
Yeah.
The filth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. You should see some of the stuff Phil and I see.
Now, this is the biggest bedroom, Paul. In fact, I think
wow.
it's probably the biggest bedroom on the street.
Yeah, it's massive.
And the reason for that is because this area here is above the passageway.
Oh, yeah, I saw that from outside, actually.
Got to be a bonus. Huge
Yeah,
second bedroom. There's a loo and a shower en suite.
Great.
But in here is the 3rd bedroom. This is where you could put bathroom, you could put dressing room.
Yeah, I really like the size of it, actually. I really like the idea of just sort of having a play and making it use of the space and that sort of thing. I'm really positive about this one.
Great.
I'm not sure what Helen will think, but well...
Yeah, well, that
We'll find out.
that might be the stumbling block there.
Yeah, indeed.
So Paul's interested in adding value. Good man, but I'm not so sure about Helen. I think she's after the finished product.
For what it's on for quite a lot. And I just don't think we've got the time to sort of take it on. That's
So I wouldn't
pretty much it.
mind, but I think you want somewhere you just want to move into and live in, don't you?
I'm not keen on it, but if you want to have a think about it.
Chairs were a good idea, weren't they?
Yeah, you look very comfortable.
Well, we visit so
Sat
many
back,
vacant
enjoying
properties.
yourselves, leaving it all up to me to do the work, ring the agents,
I'm not
take the
leaving it all
notes.
to you.
Anything else? Can I get you lunch?
They're not going to go for this house. You do know that, don't you?
How did it go yesterday? I mean, who's going to make this decision? Is it a joint decision or is it Helen's decision?
It's Helen's decision. Yeah,
It's
definitely.
always the way. I'm going to have a word with Paul, beef him up a bit.
It's not fair on you, so we'll Have a look.
We'll have a chat about it. I think we'll...
Never going to happen.
All right, fair enough.
Cool.
I'll just go off and cry in a corner now.
Well, we've given it our best shot. 3 bedrooms within budget, but Helen's the boss and she's knocked it on the head.
If doing up houses isn't going to float Helen's boat, then we've got the best finished house on the market. It's in the city centre and came on yesterday at 159,950, £5,000 under their budget, and we're the first through the door.
This is lovely. It's really finished and nice.
Oh, God.
Just the way you like
Just the way I like it.
All done.
All done.
You are a predictor bunny, aren't you?
Yeah, but how much is it? Because this is really close to work, really close to the city.
It came on the market yesterday at 159,950. But there is a flood of people who want to get in and see
we
it.
are holding them off with a big stick.
It's a good price. Very good price.
Yeah, I think it is,
You
actually.
haven't seen round the house yet. You've just walked in and thought,
Yeah.
oh, it's
No,
really
but
fun.
I just thought it was going to be a fortune from the outside and because of where it is.
The owner has created a fantastic home. 2 big reception rooms, a stylish kitchen, 2 double bedrooms, and I've got a little surprise that's going to enchant Helen.
I don't know whether you'll go for this kind of walk-in closet arrangement.
Oh no, you're kidding.
Yes, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. That's just so cool. Wow. This would just be my dream area. This is exactly what I wanted in a house.
At the last house, Paul was eager to add value. But for a man afraid of surveys, has he got the bottle?
This is a joint decision. You both got to be happy. And if your drive and your motivation is to, climb up the ladder, make some money, then we need to hear about that.
Yeah, that's definitely where I'm coming from.
Then this is the wrong house.
Yeah, I think it is.
Paul seems to think that you and he could do this in a house. That you could spend £20,000 and make it your own and add the value yourself.
No way, he's just dreaming. We like just enjoying our life and we're not in the mood
So
to...
what makes Paul think that he's capable of this type of project?
Testosterone, I think.
But there's a little something in the garden that'll keep Paul sweet.
Come and have a look at this. It's currently being used as a beautician's room. Goes right through.
Oh, back here as well. Blimey.
Could be a boys' room. Could set your decks up there.
Yeah.
Get away from Helen.
Make plenty of noise. That's really good. I really like that.
Well, no need to ask you too much about what you like about that, because it's written all over your faces.
It's just...
Yeah,
it's
really amazing.
unbelievable. It's everything we've ever wanted, isn't it? Everything is new and nice and clean and lovely, and I want it.
There's not a lot you can add to it, but it's great anyway. I love that everything part of it.
I think you'll get over it though, won't you?
Yeah. The shed.
I don't think you're going to give him a moment's choice.
Yeah.
I think you'll get over it, won't you? But it is important in any house search. You don't get too emotionally involved. It's not yours till you've
It's a
actually
little
signed
late.
it.
I'll probably cry.
Well, you've been down this road before.
You have been down this road before
It's not a...
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I know.
They think it's their dream house, but what about that 3rd bedroom? And with their history of bad luck with surveys, we need to keep their options open.
At last, my hard work has paid off. I found a fabulous 3-bedroom house in West Norwich, 15 minutes walk into the city centre. The only downside is the price. At 175, it's 10,000 over budget. I'm not sure the extra room is worth the money, but will they?
The last thing that Kirsty and I want to do is stretch your budget, but this is kind of what you asked us to find.
Yeah, no, that's fair
it's
enough.
fine. Looks promising from the outside.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Inside is lovely. It was renovated 2 years ago, so all the work has been done, which will keep Helen happy. In fact, it's everything they've asked us to find. But will it wow them?
Do you get that same feeling you got in the last house?
No.
Or no feeling at all?
I'm quite loyal.
To the last house?
Yeah, I feel like I'm cheating on it if I compliment this one too much.
Helen's heart really does belong to the last house. But does Paul feel the pull?
So seeing this house confirms your feelings about the previous one?
Definitely. Comparing the prices, I'm not really sure. I'd pay the extra for the 3rd bedroom when, like I say, we've got the shed at the other place, which will handle our storage needs.
Yeah.
So Paul doesn't think the 3rd bedroom is worth the extra cash. Will Helen?
This is the 3rd bedroom,
Right.
which is small.
Yeah, it is very small.
But bear in mind, this is actually what you asked us to find. This is the 3-bedroom house.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. And I think I'd rather stick with the 2 generous-sized bedrooms.
Good call. That's all you need.
This is a nice house, but it's not for them. I'm worried because we've got to make sure that there is nothing wrong with that house tomorrow.
No, I don't think that's right. There's something wrong with every house. What we have to do is educate them that no house is perfect.
Next morning, we return to the city centre house that Helen's got her heart set on. We may be first through the door, but with a bottleneck of viewings, we need to work hard to get it before anyone else crosses the threshold.
I've spotted a potentially serious problem with the house that would go beyond minor survey quibbles. They've had more than their fair share of survey scares, and we've got to make absolutely sure this one's going to pass. So I'm getting a second opinion.
I've arranged to meet a surveyor here to have a bit of a cast around the structure of it.
Oh, excellent.
You go on in.
Let's hope it's not depressing.
Well, cross your fingers.
Helen and Paul need to have a good scout around and make a list of what fixtures and fittings they'd like to be included in their offer.
Oh, it still looks nice.
Yeah, I do like that wall.
Yeah, you want to make a note of that blind. Do you still like it?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I hope it's going okay with that surveyor. I really do, because it's going to break their hearts if there's a problem with this house.
Unfortunately, it's not looking good. There's a big crack in the gable end, which could be a major problem.
It may be that previous owners have information from engineers, or it may be that there's been insurance claims. That sort of paperwork would be helpful.
Hi.
That's not happy face.
No, it's not happy news either. There's been structural movement down the side wall.
All houses of this age move a bit.
Most of this terrace has actually moved when I've looked up and down the front.
This is not what we needed for this couple. Potentially, it's quite a serious issue.
Try and stay calm.
I just want to get excited, but every time I get excited, I just keep thinking, oh, it's all going to go wrong. It'll be a miracle if this is all right, because it's too perfect at the minute.
They love this house. Can't we just run now? Do we have to be the ones that tell them this?
This could be the 4th time.
No, don't say that, no.
Hello.
Hi there.
We've got something we need to show you.
Okay.
All right.
It's not a big worry. It's a little concern, and it's something we think we can overcome.
The vendors have lived here for 6 years.
Right.
And they had it surveyed when they bought it, and just before they bought it, there'd been some movement in the house. Bricks from here had been taken out, and these new ones. You can see the new bricks.
Oh, yeah, you can see the line going up.
Okay.
My worry is that within the last 6 years, there's been additional movement. You see how that brick has cracked straight through the middle?
Yeah.
That's not a good sign. What we need to establish is who the existing insurance company are, and whether they would be happy to continue cover.
Okay.
If it's not insurable, it's not mortgageable.
Oh, Helen, don't! It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Don't cry.
I still want to go ahead on it, though.
Yeah, I do, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a setback, but nothing is insurmountable, and we're determined to make this house work for them. We need to gather together any paperwork related to the crack and get guarantees from their mortgage company that they'll insure it.
I've spoken to the vendor, and I've got some paperwork from when they bought the property, and going back 14 or 15 years. It's been insured by actually the place where you work since then, and they've been happy to continue cover the whole way through.
Good news.
That's a huge relief, but our job's not done. Now we need to focus on securing the property.
Let's talk about the money. It's on the market at 159,950. 159 feels expensive, but it also feels that someone's going to pay it within the not too distant future.
I know what you're saying. It does feel a little expensive, but for the quality of the fixtures inside, I think we'd happily pay that.
No, to be honest, I'd rather go in at asking price and then get a load of stuff thrown in.
I do have an offer for you. It would most definitely require complete exclusivity. So it is strictly under those terms that they will pay the asking price. Thank you very much. We can't say further than that. They've offered the price, we've given it to them.
Sadly, we couldn't get an immediate answer, but the agent promises to call in the morning.
Hi, Phil, how are you?
Have you had a sleepless night?
Yes, we're getting quite stressed out at the moment.
it's yours. Property's off the market.
They've accepted the offer.
Oh, super! Oh, that's great.
What a great result. We couldn't be happier for them.
This week, there's no messing about. We're straight to work and under strict instructions. Mel wants land and life in the hills, but is it a step too far for partner Ali?
But what's in it for her?
Him?
Just that? This week, we're in the Welsh borders, hunting for a home in the hills.
But can leadership trainer Mel and air hostess Ali turn their dream into a reality?
Sacrifice, compromise, and work as a team.
More to the point, can we? This search is all about leadership, and there's one thing leading Mel.
At 45 years old now, it's about time I stopped mucking about.
You can't say it clearer than that.
Well, apart from the words midlife crisis.
For the last 15 years, Mel's been dreaming of leaving suburbia and setting up his own leadership and team-building centre in the Welsh Hills. He's thinking tunnel challenges, rope climbing.
Working as a freelance trainer, Mel's got the theories, the books and all the marker board colours they make. But his office at the end of the garden is no longer doing it for him. The great outdoors is calling.
The trouble is, suburban living has been perfect for Ali. She's an air hostess, so living 30 minutes from Heathrow is ideal.
A normal day for me could be going to New York, Washington, San Francisco, Hong Kong, Miami. I might be living in the Welsh borders, which will be a complete contrast. Quite interesting. Do I sound convincing enough?
Not really, no. But this hasn't stopped them selling their 3-bedroom Maidenhead semi. In the 6 years they've owned it, Ali's lovingly done it up, and it's increased a very healthy £200,000 in value.
They accepted an offer for £415,000 2 weeks ago, so now it's time to follow Mel's rural dream.
The Welsh borders are undeniably beautiful, but at the moment they are also undeniably cold and wet, so even I needed some convincing to get on the road with Phil.
I hope you're not going to tell me that you're planning on moving the business to the middle of nowhere.
No, I'm not. But I do understand a little bit about what he's going through. I mean, with our business, there was a stage that either we had to continue as is or take the plunge and expand and take on risk, which is essentially what he's doing.
Yeah, but he's not just taking on risks, he's taking everybody with him.
Yeah.
He's basically saying to Ali, I'm off to Wales, come if you want, don't if you don't.
Kind of all or nothing.
Well, if that's how this works, we'd better get started. I'm meeting Mel in the town of Monmouth to get his side of the story.
Apart from the business, what else do you want on a personal level from this move?
Ideally, I'd like to be right in the middle of the hills because I love hills. I love hill walking. I'd like to be able to go out the doorstep and just go for walks on the hills or runs or whatever.
Why now?
I'm at a certain age now where it's the thing I've got to do.
Right.
If I don't do it, then I will carry on as I am,
Right.
and I will die wandering.
Okie doke.
I've got to ask, Mel's not having some kind of midlife crisis, is he?
Quite possibly, quite possibly. I actually never really truly believed it would happen, but it has, so I've just got to get on with it. I do love the countryside, and I can't see how anyone could fail to say this isn't absolutely stunning.
But living here,
Yeah, that's...
I mean, we're not talking the odd weekend.
No, I know, and that's what I'm struggling with at the moment. It's a very long way from friends and family.
Well, we'd better get to it.
If we don't get this right for him now, he's never going to set the business up. It really is now or never.
But what's in it for her?
Him?
Just that? It adds 2.5 hours minimum to her commute at the end of a working stint.
She's giving up a lot.
A lot.
Kirsty, you old cynic. It's not all about travel times. It's about two people wanting to be together.
Give me strength.
Their top budget is 600 grand for a detached 3-bedroomed house. Mel needs a minimum of 4 acres with some flat land for some of the team building courses. Outbuildings are a bonus.
Flat land in the Welsh Hills? Maybe a little lesson on geology here? We've 2 different agendas. The land needs to be ideal for Mel, but only the perfect house will convince Ali to make that move.
And whatever the gradient, around here acres come at a premium. It's real working farmland, and we're competing against others looking for new business opportunities.
This may force the house into second place, which won't suit Ali.
We may have 600 grand in the pot, but this is a sought-after area.
I've got high hopes for our first property. Mel wants to live in the hills, and this could be his spectacular daily view.
It's on a hillside 20 miles from Monmouth, overlooking the entire area. Ali may have reservations about leaving Maidenhead, but I don't think this location can fail to seduce her.
When Kirsty and I first came up here, we both kind of looked at each other on the way up. It feels like we're at the top of the world.
It really does.
This big climb up.
This house is in immaculate condition. Refurbished by its current owners with fantastic attention to detail, it's got all the charm and style of Mel and Ali's Maidenhead home, but bags more room and plenty of scope for entertaining.
Outside there are 6 acres of well-maintained land. Though it may be hilly, Phil has a plan to make it more suitable for Mel's outdoor activities. On the market for £590,000, I think this place has a lot to offer.
Come through here, you've got a fantastic room.
That's brilliant. It takes in all the views and everything, isn't it?
It's incredibly neutrally decorated.
Yeah.
There's really nothing in this house you couldn't like. How does it strike you so far from the inside?
It's a bungalow.
It is a bungalow. I hadn't thought of that. Is a bungalow a problem?
Yeah, we're not quite ready to go into a bungalow.
Oh dear. Ooh, early slip up.
Well, that may have blown it for the house, but could opportunities with the land swing it?
Basically, we've got 6 acres that come with this house, and it's this paddock and this paddock. The top paddock here could be levelled off to almost completely level.
We could level this paddock off. My concern, our house is just there if we live here, and this is where we'd be running the business. So the idea was that we'd have land where the house actually isn't on show. It doesn't do it for me, and if I was charging someone money to come in here, I don't think it would do it for them.
While Mel's certainly not mincing his words, there are clearly other worries on his mind.
The business is important, and in reality, Ali's got to live here, and she doesn't really want to come down here.
I'm interested to know, with this move, what's in it for you?
I don't know at the moment. No, what's in it for me? We'll get to live in a slightly bigger house with stunning views, the feeling of being in the countryside, and just probably a slower pace of life.
Yeah.
So
you don't sound entirely convinced.
Well, I do still have reservations, to be perfectly honest, but you don't actually try, do you?
There's nothing like a first viewing to put everything into perspective.
How did it go on the land?
To be honest, it went really badly because he doesn't want to look at the land from the house.
Oh, for God's sake, another thing on the list.
So, really, the business area needs to be behind the house, away from the house. This isn't going well at all, not one little tiny piece.
In best team leader fashion, I'm prepared to face this head on.
What have we learned in this first viewing?
We need level land. We need some areas of level land.
We're in the wrong part of the country,
We're in the wrong part of the country.
Well, you can get level land on top of a hill.
Okay.
It's not that much of a problem.
We need a stronger house, same amount of accommodation. Location is not going to sell you on a property unless it's got the other factors. OK, right, well, we can learn that lesson and move on.
Textbook performance, Kirsty, I'm loving your work. Our next property is in the village of Langaran, just 10 miles away. This stone-built 2-storey house dates back to the 18th century.
It's closer to Monmouth, so we're in a less remote spot.
And into flatter landscape. On the market for $630,000, this place is strong on all counts.
Very
This is looking more promising already.
This looks good.
This 4-bedroom house is packed with character and has fantastic proportions. Obviously loved as a family home, it now needs some attention.
Though it's £30,000 over budget, there's always a deal to be done, and I think it's an excellent opportunity for Ali to make her mark.
The outbuildings that come with the land are almost as extensive as the house itself, and along with the 4.5 acres, I think Mel will be buzzing with the business potential.
Now, I know you weren't really looking for a vegetable garden, but you've got one here, whether you like it or not.
Oh, well, I think that might become a swimming pool.
Big plans, Mel.
The current owner has sheep grazing on the land, but unlike many properties in this area, you are not obliged to continue using this land for agriculture. This gives Mel plenty of flexibility for the business.
So you could be kind of self-sufficient here, and that's the first of 2 paddocks.
Brilliant.
Flat enough for you?
It's almost perfect.
Say that again?
It's almost perfect.
Now, obviously, this is a much more traditional type kitchen, but actually, it's a really nice kitchen.
Yeah, it's a good size.
Funnily enough. Yeah. How long do you see yourself staying in the house that you're looking for?
Forever. That is the idea. Is this is the last move for us. We just wouldn't be able to afford to do it again. So it's got to be right.
So this is everything.
Yeah.
The rest of your life.
Well, as far as you can say that, yeah.
You're sounding as though this would really work. Obviously, you haven't seen the house yet. But...
No, well, I don't need to. That's Ali's domain. For me, that's part of the deal. For supporting me and coming down this way and doing this thing, as I've said to you before, she's got to feel comfortable.
It's a big move for her.
It's a huge move for her.
Right, so it's Ali's job to choose the house, and it's my job to enable her to see the potential of this one.
It's a really good guest bedroom. I mean, you've talked about being away from your friends and family. Yeah. Do you envisage having a lot of people to stay?
I do hope so. Please come and see us. Yes, I do. Yeah. That would be the idea.
There's no denying this is a really strong property, but it is 30 grand over budget.
How'd it go outside?
Fantastic.
Oh, thumbs up.
Perfect.
2 thumbs up.
Both thumbs up.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And the house?
Really good. It's the budget still concerns me slightly on this one.
So it will come down to the money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But what an opportunity.
Yeah. It's a general thumbs up. That's a nice way to end a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
To convince Ali to make this move, we've got to find the right house, and the next property may just be the one.
We're staying in Monmouthshire, near the small village of Newcastle. In this area, the land is flatter, making it more suitable for Mel's team building courses. And I'm pleased as punch to be showing Ali a barn conversion.
On the market for $575,000, I think it could work for them both.
Yeah, it looks great. Looks really good. Be interesting what the land looks like.
You don't care about the house, really, do you, Mel?
I care greatly about the house.
He cares greatly about what his good lady thinks about the house.
Ali's more important in terms of the house.
First impressions, this is my favourite so far in terms of looks and approach and things.
The main focus of this conversion is the breathtaking central living room and the use of natural materials throughout the property.
The space has been broken up into 5 bedrooms, but there's plenty of scope for rearrangement which could really help the layout and add value.
Outside, there's 5 acres of flat pasture land, which is perfect for Mel, plus an agricultural barn, which is ripe for conversion. There's plenty to get excited about here.
That's got the wow factor. I like this.
It's good, isn't it?
This is great.
They're not making the most of what is a really spectacular room.
It needs to be completely vaulted.
But that is a fairly useless room, and all of this could come down. So you enjoy the double height right through to the fireplace.
Now, what you've got here is front door where we came in, laundry room, downstairs loo, and a kitchen. Not huge, coming through. There's no reason for not knocking down this at that level and opening this up. Yeah. So this room would go the whole way down to that door there.
Yeah.
The layout is just begging for improvement, but are they both up to it?
We could turn it into my dream house.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you.
What do you mean?
Well, would it become your dream house?
Well, I still like it, so
Good.
I haven't gone off it just yet.
Great.
It just doesn't make sense. She seems to be sacrificing so much more than him. It's touching that he wants the right house for her. But to be honest, I feel that even if it wasn't the right house for her, he'd still move here.
And after just one look at the barn, Mel may need no more convincing about this place.
You've got 5 acres in total, together with this barn.
This is absolutely perfect. I would raise the walls up, enclose them. I can maybe put some mezzanine flooring in, so you've got two stories of activities.
Mel's excitement about the barn is understandable. Although there are plenty of initiatives to encourage new businesses into the countryside, planning permission for new structures can still be difficult. It's much easier to get change of use.
Mel's fired up about this place, but is Ali still keen?
Right, so how does this come on the scale of properties previously seen?
It's my favourite so far.
And Mel, you?
It's the most ideal.
Mel's almost moved in, but as for Ali, I'm not convinced that she's fallen for this place. It's time to up the ante for our last property.
We're hopping over the border to the outskirts of the village of Much Markle. This 200-year-old house is huge and comes with a whopping 10.5 acres of land, more than double anything else we've seen. It's been extended a couple of times, so isn't the picture postcard country house, but it's on the market for $595 and is fantastic value for money.
This is another house that's not a looker, OK? We're not blind to that. Ali, you're looking horrified.
If we'd driven up ourselves, we'd have just like, right, OK, let's go. But the actual approach here was fine.
Fine doesn't cut it, Ali.
That's as good as you're going to get.
But you've been told.
Well, I'm sorry. 10.5 acres, surely that floats your boat,
Oh,
Mel.
absolutely, it does at the moment. But I need to see it first.
This is a substantial family home with buckets of potential, and it's ripe for redecoration. With 5 bedrooms and 4 reception rooms, it just needs a lick of paint.
And creating a fresh, modern interior would certainly add value.
And what we've got here is a really good and generous master bedroom suite. Bathroom, cupboard space, and then look at this.
That is lovely.
There are 10 acres surrounding the house and plenty of flat areas for Mel's leadership training courses. His head is bound to be turned.
Now, right on cue, there's a separate entrance to the land. So your clients come in this way, they don't even see the house.
Cool.
Yeah? And the main usable land is in these 2 paddocks, one here and one across the other side of the house. The key thing for me is you've got enough space to do whatever it is that you need to do.
Plenty.
But of course, Ali needs to like the house.
She does.
And the reaction wasn't positive at all.
The look on her face said it all, actually.
Yeah.
The look on the face said it all. And I think Kirsty's got a really tough job trying to convince Ali that's the right place for her.
But back at the house, Ali's being remarkably realistic.
Boils down to Mel finding the right land and
Yeah.
then combining. It's almost like the house is secondary in terms of before I can get involved in do we really like the house now sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to have to compromise somewhere because really it's all about the business and it's about Mel fulfilling his dream with the business. And like you say, this can be prettied up. It's
Yeah.
not a chalet bungalow.
No.
Got great views. They can't hear the road. So, yeah, I think so, maybe. Yeah. I think so, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult.
It
I mean,
is
it's difficult.
difficult.
It's
It's
someone
hard.
else's dream, and one always has that sense of how far can I personally compromise the rest of my life
Yeah.
in order to make that person happy.
Yeah. I know, I can tell you're excited, aren't you?
No, not totally.
Oh, right, okay.
We could have a stalemate here. 2 people, each waiting for the other to make the first move.
I've no idea what's going on at the moment.
No, nor have I. No idea. Except I know one thing. She's making huge sacrifices, and I'm still saying what's in it for her.
Him. It's about relationships, compromise, it's working together.
That's true love.
Yeah, that's what love is. It's what people do for each other.
OK, maybe Phil's right, but someone's got to take the lead.
So what's it to be? Kirsty and I are a bit anxious about this one.
Hasn't grabbed either of us.
Right.
But we're trying to work it around in our heads because of the land and, like you say, it's a good-sized house.
There's something missing in the heart.
Okay, fine. That's fine. If something's missing, don't push it.
But these 2 really need to talk it all through. As far as they're concerned, there are still 3 properties in the mix. Decisions have to be made. In the morning, the weather's rolled in, and I, for one, wouldn't be surprised if Ali's changed her mind.
I hope it's blown some of the fog away, because yesterday we left you thinking of 3 properties.
I think we're just going to look view 1 again, and that's the barn.
OK.
We'll just go to the barn.
Well, how about we get a builder
Yeah?
and see what they make of the barn and what you could do with it.
Brilliant.
So it's back to the barn. On the market for £575,000, this is the one property where they were both in agreement. But they're only interested as long as the alterations can be done on budget. Time to get the builders in.
Now, Keith, this is the kind of impact room.
At the Wow Factory originally.
So structurally, there's not a problem in moving that back, say 3 metres. We should be able to do that.
Mel and Ali also want to create a large kitchen diner and master bedroom suite. The costs are mounting.
I don't think you're going to get any change out of a figure of between 20 to 25,000 plus VAT.
Okay.
And it may well be a little bit more than that.
With the costs in, are these two any closer to making a decision?
It's not a definite no, I'm just still working my head around it.
Well, it's got the right feel for you.
I mean, I can imagine this summer it's lovely because you have all the doors open and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
If you ever get summers.
You still look mystified.
We're still undecided.
OK, well, that's fine. That's
Don't
fine.
apologise, it's your big decision. Do you want to go and have a drink and talk it over?
That sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
OK.
Back in the warmth, I've got my own property theory for Mel and Ali.
The push me pull you theory is that basically no house has got 100% pull. Buckingham Palace hasn't got 100% pull. You need push. Now Mel's push is following the dream. Although you want to help Mel to pursue his dream, you don't have as much push as he does. Yeah. Therefore, you need a house with more pull. And that's the problem here, is that I wonder if we're always going to struggle to find the house with enough pull, given the other criteria.
Would you like to make an offer?
I would not want to pay more than $495 for the house.
$495. I'm not convinced that Ali's lying in bed at night imagining what she'd do to that house.
I can actually imagine us in the house. Yes, I can.
But do you want to live there?
I could be persuaded at 495. I don't think I would be at 575.
I think it would be a fairly good compromise. And I'd put an offer in just to see whether they'd go for it.
Well, there's no mobile reception here, but there is a phone box outside, so why don't I go and put a call in?
You just want to do your Superman stuff, you know, twirling around in the telephone box.
It'll be Superman if I buy it for $495. But I'll give it a go.
Not quite sure how I managed to be the one making the offer of the century, but it's all in the presentation.
Hi, Phil. It's Phil Spencer. Basically, I've got an offer of $495,000 for you. But I would stress that that is a best and final offer. That is as far as they would go with that property, I'm afraid. Best of luck, Phil. Hope to speak to you in a bit. Cheers. Bye.
Hiya.
Hiya.
Well, I got hold of him.
Yeah,
Had a good chat. And he's going to get hold of the vendor now.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't expect it to be accepted, I'm afraid. But he's going to make as good a case as possible.
But, as we expected, the offer on the house is turned down.
If you're buying a house with another person, the key to success is going to be compromise.
It's all very well following your dreams, but you have to be certain they're not somebody else's nightmare.
Tonight, we're in Warwickshire, house hunting for an extended family.
The Fossets. Their 2 children, 2 ponies, a couple of dogs, and their 3 camels.
You're going to keep in a good mood this week?
No, I'm not going to crack that joke.
You're going to get the hump.
No.
I know it.
I don't know about me, but the Fossets might.
In my whole house hunting career, I've never yet been asked to find a home for a camel. But I reckon it's not who you're searching for, it's what you're searching for.
This week, we're firing up a family whose search has been on the back burner for 17 months.
Joe and Rebecca Fossett have finally sold their home in Warwickshire and are keen to get a hoof on.
They're a racy couple, but it's not what you think. They race camels for a living.
Lots and lots of cheering as they go past. Bloody cheer the fast they run.
Everyone loves camels and racing, and what better racing could we have than racing camels?
All our friends think we're mad, but that's fine by us, we don't mind. We're just known as the camel people, I suppose.
The trouble is, their house and the camels are 4 miles apart.
Just a bore having to come down here every day, really, isn't it?
This constant shuttling back and forth is proving a logistical nightmare.
Well, we need to move because we don't have any land at home. We have a garden the size of a pocket handkerchief, and I don't think there'd be much room for the camels in there.
So with their house and camels together in one place, they'll get to spend more time with their 2 young children, Daisy and Leo, and play happy extended families.
I like to be with my animals, you know, they're part of the family. Come on, babies, come on, girls!
Camel racing is a new and growing sport and takes them all around the country. But home is the Warwickshire village of Halford, near Stratford-upon-Avon.
Rebecca loves her house, and with Daisy and Leo happy in the local school, she's desperate not to stray too far from her stomping ground.
It's quite daunting to think about moving somewhere further away when a lot of the contacts for our business and our friends and just everything in our life is so, it's here.
And here, for the last 7 years, has been this 4-bed family home.
It's clear that the house is very important to Rebecca.
But thanks to this main road, selling it's been a real drag.
After 17 months and 40 viewings, they must be so over it.
You'd be completely over.
They've got property fatigue.
And we're here to inject some energy into their search.
So while Kirsty trots off to see Joe and his camels...
Oh, look, they're waiting for us.
They certainly are, little babies.
I get the gory details from Rebecca.
It's been quite intense.
It's been a bit of a nightmare. Emotionally difficult?
No, just very tedious having to tidy up the house all the time.
Yeah, but it's part of the process.
Oh, of course it is, and you accept that, yeah, and I try to accept it without grumbling, actually, but, sometimes...
It's worked well for you as a home and an investment.
Yeah, no, it has. I can't dispute that at all, and I'm looking forward to the next move and hoping that's going to work as well.
They've just sold it for £290,000. So in 7 years, they've made an incredible profit of £160,000.
This, combined with the mortgage and savings, gives us £700,000 to play with. We know they need land for the camels, but they also need a home for their family. I want to make sure we understand their priorities.
Everyone says it's about the X factor, not the house. And I've heard it so many times. People have said to me, oh no, we're moving for a river, we're moving for a view. We don't care about the house. Is that really the case?
Yes, it really is. I mean, as far as I'm concerned anyway, because you can always extend, you can always knock down and rebuild or whatever, but I can't change land, I can't change sort of the amount of land, I can't change the landscape.
So Joe's priorities are clear. It's camels all the way. But Rebecca wants a family home.
Who's going to win this race? Either way, the Fossets have got to move out in 2 weeks, so we're under starters' orders.
Oh, hi, you two. Making friends?
Yeah, they're so sweet. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. They're so soft and cuddly and friendly and they're adorable.
But they need a new home.
They certainly do.
We've basically got to put our foot on the pedal and really get going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great.
So our brief is to find the Fossets a 3-bedroomed house
with at least 8 acres of land for the camels.
And they've got a budget of £700,000.
It doesn't surprise me they're racing camels because they come first with Joe.
Yeah.
If I was Rebecca, I would be leaning back in my saddle and pulling hard on the reins.
Steady on!
Yep.
Steady on!
Who comes first round here?
The camels.
Yep.
Rebecca is desperate to stay within a 10-mile radius of where they currently live in Warwickshire.
But this is an expensive area and they have other wants as well. The camels have got stiff competition from other 4-legged beasts. This is horse riding country and people are desperate for property with land.
With ears glued to the phone and close to the ground, we've blitzed the agents and rejected over 100 properties.
Any house with land worth a look we've seen. It hasn't been easy, but we've managed to pull together a short list of properties to show the Fossets.
Our first house is on the outskirts of the pretty village of Bretforton.
It's on the market for £690,000, just under their £700,000 budget, and there's a lot of room for the camels.
It's 11 miles from where they currently live, so slightly out of their comfort zone, but we think the house and land more than make up for the extra mile.
Right, now, as we were saying just earlier that location was everything, how are we doing here?
I don't like it.
Don't like it, okay?
Really? I don't like this area. I really don't like this area. It's not for me anyway.
We're 11 miles from where you currently live. Can't be that bad.
Well, if we go 3 miles in that direction, it'd be absolutely fine, or that direction. But no, I'm not crazy about the Bidford-on-Avon sort of Evesham area.
Let's give it a look inside before we completely condemn it, okay?
I'm cheered that Rebecca's not put off by the location. The house clearly matters to her as well, and this one's a winner.
There's heaps of space with 3 lovely reception rooms, a huge family kitchen and 5 stunning bedrooms.
Hopefully our couple can see that this house could make a great family home.
My whole impression of this house as I walk in is dark, low ceilings because of all these beams which look as though they've been put in. I like a house, I mean, I think like our house, you can see when you walk into that hall, your first impression is of space and light, and that's really important to me.
So, Rebecca doesn't like the house, Joe doesn't like the location.
It's not going that well. But there is a third party to consider in this move, the camels. So will the land come up trumps?
What are you actually going to be doing? How come you need quite so much land?
Well, I mean, we need for training. We need a track up, a race track. Animals need room. They need space.
Is it even worth you going in the house?
No, I'm not interested before we go any further. I mean, I can tell you that now.
Wow. Joe doesn't even want to look inside. These two aren't going to be a pair of pushovers.
No, that is a bit of a nightmare.
Right, we can't take any risks with the location of our next property. It's 8 miles from where they currently live and on the outskirts of the village of Kyneton, an area we know they know and love.
This detached bungalow was completed only 6 months ago. The living space is light and airy and not a beam in sight.
There are 3 bedrooms, but you are sacrificing inside space for the amount of land, a whopping 29 acres. Camel heaven.
That's interesting. So it's all around.
So it's boundary.
It's currently run as a stud farm with 2 barns and separate paddocks. It's on for 750 grand, although we do think it's a bit overpriced.
Basically, the wonderful thing about this house is everything that you can see around you is the land. Your view is the hills, which are never going to be built on.
Area works for us, yeah, definitely.
Yes, no, location's perfect.
Absolutely.
Location works. We're over the first hurdle.
But with 29 acres to play with, I'm keen to know if land is as important to Rebecca as it is to Joe.
Well, you've got enough land here for the grand plan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the land is great, actually.
You're sounding very positive and keyed up.
Aren't I? After the last house, and I was like, oh, God. No, I think I like it.
My point of view here is that you've got a lot of land,
yeah, that's
but
true.
You're being asked to pay quite handsomely for this acreage.
Yeah, that's true.
So what else can we do with it?
Yeah.
And
well, Camel Park kind of springs to mind. And the other thing we've been thinking of is camel trekking, and here you've got the space.
They could get up some speed out here, couldn't they?
We'll
put Kirsty on top and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
So Rebecca can see the huge potential for the business here. But of course it's not all just about the land.
It needs to work as a family home too. But does Joe realise that?
You look at this house and think, great, fine, perfectly livable in, end of story. Yeah. Is that because the idea of 29 acres, 2 large barns, the whole camel setup appeals to you so much that you don't give a monkeys about the house?
A little bit, yes. Yes, I mean, it's the perfect location, really.
Right. You could just begin tomorrow building up the camel business. And if Rebecca's trying to cope in a tiny kitchen and the children are bundled into one room, it's not the end of the world.
So, while Rebecca and Joe have a good look around, it's time for a tête-à-tête with Phil.
Seems to be going very well. They're both very positive about it.
That woman's a saint. He doesn't give a monkey's how big the house is.
No, I think you're doing him an injustice.
Oh, I think he's great. He's got a wonderful sense of humour and you can get through a lot with laughter. But it's camels all the way.
Camels aside, could this one work for them?
Well, in the fading light at the end of the day, but you've had enough light to have a look around and a bit of a think.
I think it has a good feel about it. You know, small house, but that's not the end of the world. Good land. What do you think, Joe?
No, I think it's a decent property. Yes, I mean, there's possibilities. I'll be honest, I think it's overpriced.
Yeah, right, we think it's overpriced. I mean, can we put this in the maybe camp?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. I think that's very fair.
So that's a maybe, but is a maybe enough?
Joe wants the right area, Rebecca wants a house.
And the poor camels just want a home.
Who's first past the post? We're struggling to find that all-singing, all-dancing house which combines 8 acres of camel-friendly land, a large interior in a winning location, all for 700 grand.
But these guys are desperate. They've sold up and must move out in 2 weeks' time with nowhere to go. Blimey.
So we're going off brief with our third house. We're taking them 57 miles from where they currently live to Herefordshire.
But there is method to our madness.
It's an absolute corker with a fantastic 36 acres of land. Joe and his camels would be in paradise.
It's in the village of Ullingswick and is currently run as an equestrian centre, so there's barns and stabling aplenty.
And by coming to Herefordshire, they're getting more for their money. All this for 725 grand.
Joe, I'm sure you appreciate coming this far out to this location is the reason why we've got a big 4-bedroom detached house and all the acreage you could ever wish for.
Did it fill you with horror driving all the way here?
No, we were just rather curious as to where we were coming, to be honest.
Let's go in.
This would be a major move, so everything has to work. I've no doubts about the house. With 2 reception rooms and a family-sized kitchen, there's plenty of space.
All 4 bedrooms are light and have spectacular views over the land. Since it went on the market, it's been crawling with house hunters, and with 3 offers on the table, we need to stay focused.
And you come to the first of 2 massive reception rooms. We've got real proportions and sense of space, grandeur, I think, in this house.
Yeah, and a lovely big fireplace, which always really helps.
Could you see yourself sitting here?
Oh, yes, no problem at all.
Now, I think the kitchen slightly lets the property down.
Yes, it's a very practical kitchen, let's say. It's a little bit lacking in character for me.
But could you live with it?
I think it's fine. I mean, you're overlooking the yard, which is most important, so you can see your animals.
Joe's priorities never change. It's camels first and every time. But this has to work as a family home for Rebecca as well, and they both need to have a good look around.
And look at the view from here.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? That is lovely.
The best part of this house.
This would be a momentous move. For starters, the kids would need to change schools.
The only snag is the distance backwards and forwards to Warwickshire, but no, I like this property.
Well, you move here, you up sticks completely, don't you?
But
You still have all
really
your friends,
like
but
this
you're
property, yes,
starting
yes.
again completely afresh. But I mean, you have there's a business there to take on, and that's a good thing.
That's right.
Hey, look at all these people with their horses. We can stick them on camels, no problem.
It's the best we've looked at up until now. It's the most sort of workable up until now.
Yeah. There are 3 other offers on the table at the moment.
Are there? Right, so there's quite a lot of people interested. Yes, well, I'm not
So
surprised,
if we are interested,
actually.
we've got to move fast.
Get with it. It's great. It's just not in Warwickshire, and that's a hard one, really.
So once again, a property that suits the camels, but isn't so good for Rebecca.
She's very concerned it's just too far from family and friends and would be a massive upheaval.
So it's back on the blower to try and find somewhere in Warwickshire, but there will have to be compromises.
We've got a tip-off about a property with 8 acres of land not yet on the open market. I've sweet-talked the owners into letting us have a look around.
Location shouldn't be an issue here. In fact, it's in their own village, only a camel spit away from where they currently live.
Because it's not on the open market, an exact price hasn't yet been agreed, but the owner has some figures in mind.
And I'm keen to know what Joe and Rebecca think it's worth.
What do you feel about value? And this is your area, you know.
It's got to be worth more than 50,000.
Very
And
fun.
less than 2 million.
You never take anything seriously. Does he take anything seriously?
No.
I mean, we are at the sharp end now. You have a vendor that wants you out in 2 weeks. This is the 4th house of our search, the last house of our search, because it's impossible to find anything with the acreage at the budget in the area. And you're still having a laugh, Joe.
Well, the last laugh will be on Joe when we're sitting in a mobile home on a boggy patch somewhere.
They want between 6 and 7 if they can sell to someone locally. Why don't I take Rebecca into the house?
Sounds good. Yep.
Okay,
that sounds fun.
Good.
Yep.
This detached bungalow is still in the process of being finished, but with a little bit of imagination, you can easily see its potential.
There's a good family sitting room, a sizable kitchen, 2 double bedrooms on the ground floor, and 2 upstairs that are still in the process of being decorated.
Now, Rebecca, they've taken delivery of the new staircase.
Yeah.
And down here is almost finished.
Nice kitchen, terrific. You know, nice wooden cupboards, decent space, and obviously utility room through there.
Yeah. You didn't want to be more than 10 miles away.
No.
In the end, you could be just less than 200 yards away.
Yep. But, I mean, that's no bad thing, really.
No.
So they're back in their comfort zone, but in this expensive area, the compromise is the land.
Well, there are 8 acres out here, Joe. It's unfenced. There'll be a lot to do in order to get it camel-proof. We are in a very beautiful area. This isn't a very beautiful plot at the moment, but I mean, it could be.
It could be very beautiful, couldn't it? I mean, if you spent a bit of time and money here, I mean, you could do an awful lot with this plot.
Is your heart in this area, or is your brain in Herefordshire?
That's a difficult one.
Joe just can't get the Herefordshire property with its 36 acres out of his mind. They need some time on their own to weigh it all up.
What do you think?
As I said before, the house isn't that important. If it was just the house, would you choose it?
No.
No, well, I'm saying exactly.
No, I wouldn't.
Just
If it's just us, no, I wouldn't. I'd be looking for something very different.
Exactly.
But we're not.
But we're not
That's
just
not
looking
the point, is it?
No,
we're compromising on the house because of the land.
The last property we saw, I really liked.
Yeah, so did I. It was terrific.
If that was here, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd buy it straight away.
Absolutely. But if that was here, you'd be talking
about
double.
It's a tough decision to make. I don't envy them.
I like Hereford, and I think Rebecca likes this one, if truth was known, and I think we're going to need to talk about this.
Yeah, I think that's fair, actually.
How set is your heart here in this location?
It would be so much easier to move here than move to Hereford.
So you reckon it's easier to move camels than it is to move family, friends?
Oh, infinitely. It takes a long time to make good friends, and good friends are really important.
But why don't we leave you two to have a nice fight this evening, and we'll see who wins in the morning. The next day, and the Fossets have asked to meet us at the Halford house. Does that mean Rebecca's won the battle?
Hi.
Morning. Did you get any sleep?
Not a lot, but never mind. Too many things churning.
You wanted to meet us here this morning. Does that mean this is the one you're aiming at?
Well, I think really it's the one Rebecca's still aiming at. I'm aiming at Hereford, so I don't know. We need to look at both again, really.
What do we need to learn or find out for you here?
I think it's, how much is it going to cost to sort this place out?
Well, how about we get somebody over to cost up finishing it?
And then in the meantime, let's head over to Hereford. Would that suit everyone?
He's smiling.
That is not necessarily a good thing, Phil. I've learned that already.
So both Herefordshire and Halford are still in the mix.
I've arranged for a builder to look around and give them a costing on clearing the land, finishing off the house and laying a new drive.
But before decisions are made, we're making the 57-mile drive back to Herefordshire to check out the fabulous equestrian centre.
Right, everyone, excited to be here?
Yes, very much so.
Yesterday they loved the house, the view and the camel-friendly land. But for Rebecca, relocating to a totally new county is the issue.
It would mean moving home, moving schools and missing her friends.
I mean, I spend quite a lot of time anyway on my own at home working, but it's nice to be able to know there's a mate down the road. I can, pick up the phone, go and see if I need to. I don't know how long it takes to make mates like that, really.
We are very close to Hereford town centre itself. That's only 6 miles away or something.
Which just like Stratford is to us at the moment or something, yeah.
And the local school from here, which is 4 miles away, it is the best performing school in Herefordshire.
Oh, that's encouraging. That would make me feel a lot better about it.
Sounds like Rebecca could be coming round to moving to Herefordshire.
This is so nice. Is it worth moving and just, establishing ourselves here? I know Joe feels very much this is somewhere he could stay for the next however long.
As for Joe, well, it's always been about the land.
So which of these fields goes with the farm? And where are the boundaries?
That field and that field. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think this is the perfect property. I really do.
I think it's lovely. I think it's the most heavenly spot.
It is, isn't it?
Before they make any decisions, I've got the quote for finishing off the Warwickshire house. It's going to cost nearly £100,000 to do the work.
This, added to the owner's guide price, is making it look expensive and could prove a deal breaker for Joe.
I've thought about it, and I don't think it's the property for us. I mean, it's a good property and perfect location, but it's just not what we need for the business.
Rebecca, Joe, you've heard completely discounting the other house. You were the one that wanted, or that was certainly yesterday, that much keener to stay local.
Yes, I suppose, when I look at what you get for the money there and when you get here, there is just no comparison. And, OK, so you're moving half a mile down the road. That makes life so much easier in some ways, but you do get an awful lot more here, and that's got to be taken into account.
We need to be mindful of the fact that there are 3 other offers on this property.
Well, I've made my mind up, but it all depends on Rebecca. So really, I mean, I think we just need a few days to think about it and then sort of go from there.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it seems very fair. It's been a laugh,
Yeah, thank you very much.
I've never met a camel before, and I hope to meet many more.
We're always on the lookout for jockeys.
I'll ride a camel. Oh, definitely. I can see myself galloping off into the sunset on the camel.
OK, Kirsty. Back on Earth a few weeks later and all bets are off.
Joe and Rebecca have decided the Herefordshire house is not for them. They've moved into rented and they're still looking.
It was definitely the best of all the places we saw. It was just a big move, I think.
We've allowed ourselves 6 months, really, haven't we?
Yeah, we're renting this place for 6 months.
And at the end of that, we've got to buy somewhere.